Chapter 1. Paperwork. Applying for your operating authority and insurance. When applying for your operating authority, a few things you need to accomplish this. Determine what type of freight you want to haul and get the operating authority that coincides with it. Fill out all online forms that's needed. Determine which regulations apply to you and your company. Pay all fees necessary. Once you have applied, getting the authority paperwork could take up to 4 weeks, in some cases longer. Make sure when you apply that this is the first thing you do. Getting truck insurance. Obtaining truck insurance is important. You will need 4 different types. Liability. This is for an accident when there is damaged property and there are injuries to individuals. The truck driver is not covered. Workers' compensation. This insurance covers the driver. This is basic medical coverage that helps a driver get treatment after an accident and the driver can obtain during recuperation. Physical damage. This insurance allows repair of your equipment in case of an accident and the other party is not insured or insured under your policy. Cargo insurance. Cargo insurance is for the damage or theft of the cargo on your trailer. It keeps you from having to pay for the cargo that can be a big cost. The cost of getting insurance depends on many factors: your region of operation, the size of your company, the number of vehicles that you need to insure. It would be advisable to check with several different insurance companies that specialize in trucking so you can get the best price and you do not end up with a company that says they cover everything, and when an accident happens, you find out that it was not covered. Thoroughly check out each company and ask questions. For example, how long have they been in business? And ask them to explain their terms and conditions in detail to you. If you find a price unusually low, then check with the Better Business Bureau. Applying for EIN and company name. Choosing your company name is an easy task. Check with your local State Corporation Commission, SCC, in your state to see if it is available. If the name is available, register it. Some states require that you re-register the name every 5 years. File the name with local city or county offices and place an ad in the local newspaper, if necessary, notifying that you have applied for the business license. You will be the owner of that name until you decide to dissolve the company or sell it. You can choose a name and register it using Doing Business As, DBA. The legal name of a business is the name of the person that owns the business. If you are the sole owner, then use your name as the business name. If there are partners, then use the last names of the partners or whatever names listed on agreement between the partners. With a LLC or corporations, use the name register with the government. Along with the company name, apply for your free Federal Identification Number, FIN, or Employer Identification Number, EIN. This number is for the identification of your company for IRS purposes. You do not need Form SS4 when you file online. You can obtain this information on the IRS website, irs.gov/business/small. Tip: there are companies on the internet that will file the paperwork for you. Permits. When deciding what type of freight you want to haul, having the necessary permits is necessary. You need to get the appropriate permit if you want to haul oversized or overweight loads. The same goes if you are an intrastate company and you want to travel over the state lines where you need a temporary fuel and trip permit. Most permits expire by the end of the year, December 31st. Authorities will hold any truck without the proper permits and give the owner a fine that the owner will have to take care of before the authorities will release the vehicle. You will need to file for a single state registration system, SSRS, within each state that they operate. Kentucky, New Mexico, New York, and Oregon require additional paperwork for road and tax reporting. Trucking companies that use highways heavily will need Form 2290, Heavy Highway Use Tax, HVUT, by trucking companies that use the highways heavily. The collected monies are for road repairs and maintenance in the states that you work. If you are considering hauling hazardous materials, You need to file for a FMCSA safety permit and the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, PHMSA. PHMSA is solely for the pipeline and hazardous material transportation programs. When transporting hazardous materials, also known as hazmat, there are strict rules you must follow. You must use certain routes to protect the environment and the public as well, for security reasons. Incorporation. When starting your company, you may want to figure out if you want to incorporate it. There are different kinds of corporations. Most common are LLC, Limited Liability Company. You are not responsible for the bills or debt of your company, and your debtors cannot come after your personal assets to collect on debts owed. There are several benefits to having a LLC. No restrictions on ownership. You can have many owners. Credibility. Better than a sole proprietor. Taxation. No taxes paid at owner's level. C Corporation. More flexible. Unlimited owners. Easy transfer of ownership. Less frequently audited by DOT. Owners classified as employees. S Corporation. Similar to C Corporation, but do not pay tax at the business level. Like C Corp and LLC, owners are not responsible for business debt. You can raise money by selling stock. Business expenses can be tax deductible. Able to easily transfer ownership by selling stock. Depending on the type of business you intend on operating, choosing to incorporate will be a smart move. By incorporating, it relieves you from any debt the company incurs. Small business grants. When you are looking for financing for your business, a good place to look is at small business grants. Even though the federal government doesn't have the resources at this point, you can look into getting one through your state. You need to be diligent in your efforts to secure the grant. These are a few suggestions when seeking a grant. Search the internet. Check with your local government. Visit the library. Be very patient. Make sure it is real. A grant, unlike loans, does not have to be repaid, but it has specific and strict guideline and reporting responsibilities. There is no credit check or cosigner needed when filing for a grant. Another program to look into on the local level is your state's Economic Development Agency. These agencies are often confused with Small Business Development Center, which is usually located at colleges. Unlike grants, small business loans require you to have good credit. You also have to have a business plan, experience, and education for the business you are starting. When preparing your business plan, there are several questions you need to consider answering that the lender may ask. How much money do you need? What is the money dedicated to? How long will it take you to repay the loan? If you do not qualify for the loan, what will you do? Don't be discouraged if the lender did not give you the loan. Ask the lender what was the reason you did not get it and learn from it so that when you go to the next lender, you can make sure you do not have the same problem. Calculating startup costs. When calculating your startup costs, keep in mind that you are going to need a few months of operating money. When your trucks have made their deliveries and pickups, you are going to need the capital to pay them. The drivers and other employees can't wait 30 to 45 days for your customers to pay you. That is a good way to lose your employees before you get started. It will take some time before your company can generate a profit, so when calculating your costs and looking for a grant or small business loan, try to estimate that time in. When calculating startup costs, make sure you distinguish between one-time charges and recurring charges. That way you can establish a budget for your company. Be sure to look for advantages. You can deduct some of your startup costs on your taxes. For more complicated tax implementations, you may need a tax professional, which may be an additional cost. You can find a sample worksheet to help you calculate your startup costs on the Better Business Bureau website. Here is a list of things you should consider when calculating your costs. Location, inventory, equipment, employees, marketing, professional fees and permits, administrative and operational costs. If you need more help, you can talk to other business owners to find out how they calculated their startup. The SBA offers free counseling as well, if needed. It's better to overestimate than to underestimate your startup costs. Look at other companies and how they have calculated their costs. This can help you get started. Also, look at support groups for your industry. There should be chat rooms or message boards where you can pose questions and get immediate answers. It would be good to subscribe to a magazine or newsletter for the industry you are in, if applicable. Trucking expenses are different from that of other businesses. Your expenses can be 10 to 25% higher with the expense of trucks, trailers, and other equipment that is normally not found in other businesses. Tip: try online calculators and checklists to help you calculate your expenses. Writing a business plan. Writing a business plan is one of the most important tasks in starting a company. In this document, you will plan your company's mission. It does not have to be 100 pages, and the language is not always perfect, but you will have to do the research. Find out as much as possible for the type of business you intend on operating. When writing your business plan, you have to make sure the numbers work. Try to calculate realistic numbers for the services your company will provide. A business plan can keep you from getting in over your head. Checking out the competition with your particular industry can help you estimate your costs. When applying for a loan from a bank or for a grant, they will ask you for a business plan. They would want to know what you want the money for and if you will be able to pay it back. You can find software and templates online to help you, but it would be good for you to do your own research. Using the software as a guideline can give you pointers on what to include in your business plan. You should limit the amount of pages your business plan should be. Approximately 18 pages is a good start. Anything longer than 50 is excessive and has a tendency to have unnecessary information. These are the main parts to a successful business plan. Executive summary. You should write this last, and it should be a short paragraph that summarizes some sections of your business plan. Place this page in the front. Company summary. This section tells the prospective investor about your company, its operations, and your industry. Talk about your employees, office equipment, and other equipment, i.e., trucks, trailers, etc. Market analysis. In this section, you can talk about the competition in your market. You can compare several different competitors, then explain how your company will be better and how you can help the market expand. You should list what it will cost for marketing your business and the cost for ads and printing. However, be realistic with the figures. Checking with ad agencies or printing companies can give you a general idea of costs. Operations. In this section, you will explain how your company will operate day to day. You will explain the role of your dispatchers, brokers, and office personnel. You will need to include how you will track each driver, trailer, and cargo, what type of equipment you will use to do the job. You will explain your payroll and taxes as well and what you will do if one of your drivers has a problem out on the side of the road at 4 a.m. Management. In this section, you can discuss why you would be a good owner of a trucking company. Explain your experience in the trucking industry. Describe how your experience will help in your business. You will also talk about your office personnel and their role in your company. Financial projections. This section is the most important. You will be discussing your operating costs and financial projections. Financial projection worksheets typically are good for 2 years. Also in this section, you will itemize every piece of equipment you require for your business, from office equipment, computers, copiers, printers, supplies, pens, copy paper, rubber bands, staples, paper clips, trucks, make, model, color, weight, trailers, length of 48 feet or 53 feet, vans or refrigerated, air ride or spring, stationary or sliding tandems, anything that is required to operate your company. Make sure to include any insurance, taxes, and maintenance costs. After you have calculated and researched your company and you have put your business plan together, it would be a good practice to allow a reputable CPA to look over it. They can let you know of any discrepancies in your figures. It would be even better if the CPA had a background in working with the trucking industry. That way, they would know exactly what to look for. Tip: It would be a good idea to keep your proposals updated as your company grows. Important points to remember. Just like a business plan, an operating authority is important to opening a company. Establish your company before applying for your EIN. Permits allow you to run the highways of the U.S. In addition, they allow you to carry specialized freight. Incorporating your company relieves you of the debt the company incurs. Small business grants are a great source when looking for financing. The SBA does not give out grants or loans. Make sure to overestimate your startup, which is better than underestimating and not have enough capital to do what you need.